Hello and welcome to the Red Wagon Estate Planning and Elder Law Show, hosted by me, yours truly, Jeffrey Belomo, where we discuss all things estate planning and elder law, and well, hey, anything else we want to talk about. And in today's category of our podcast, we are going to talk to a dear friend of mine, Dave Miller. Dave is with Miller Insurance Group. Dave, how you doing?
Hey, living large and enjoying life.
Oh, I love it, man. I love it. I'm really excited. Dave's going to talk a little bit about what he does and how he got into it and some hobbies that he has, which I imagine we'll be talking a little bit about some things I enjoy as well. So I think we're going to have a lot of fun today on the podcast. Just a regular disclaimer. Please do not take any advice you receive on this show or any other show for that matter to constitute legal advice. If you're looking for legal advice specific to your situation, please seek out an attorney in your area licensed to practice in the state that you live in, particularly in the practice area that you need. If you're in the state of Pennsylvania, please give us a call at Belomo & Associates at 717-845-5390 or check us out on the web at www.belomoassociates.com. At Belomo & Associates, we offer free educational workshops on a very regular basis for estate planning, crisis Medicaid planning, special needs planning, probate administration, and trust administration. If it has anything to do with estate planning and elder law, we have education for you. So please give us a call if you're in the area looking for advice in these areas. We thank you very much for joining us on this podcast today. So Dave, how you doing, man?
Hey, living large, enjoying life.
I love it, man. I love it. So tell us a little bit about the insurance company that you own and what you guys do.
Well, when I got out of the Army, I was looking around, I was bouncing around from one job to another trying to find my niche, and I got contacted by a recruiter. I had no idea what I was getting into, and they helped me get my license, and one thing led to another to where I found something I enjoy. I love meeting with people, helping them find their way through Medicare, which is overwhelming to some, confusing to others, or both. And let's face it, with all the changes constantly going on, I love getting out of the house. I've gotten a lot of good knowledge from my mentors and just experience and courses I take constantly. And there's nothing more satisfying than helping someone plan their retirement to get a lifetime income, pick the right Medicare plan, keeping them updated on things. I just really love my job. And setting my own hours, come on, you got to love that.
Yeah, heck yeah. Well, how'd you get into it originally? I mean, what was the draw to the insurance area or to Medicare?
Well, my dad always said I could sell sand to the desert and fleas to a dog, and Medicare's kind of like selling. But I gave up driving a truck over the road, and I was not happy with that. It was hard on the family life. And I put my resume up on one of those internet sites. Next thing you know, I got called from somebody. I went down for the interview, started selling with a certain company. I got to keep it neutral, of course.
Of course.
And I didn't like some of the things that were going on there. It felt weird. I met up with another person and said, go independent. So I ran into a guy named Mike. He taught me about Medicare. He's a fantastic mentor. And learning from him and just everything else, one thing after another. And here I am today with a beautiful lifestyle, a job I love, and I just can't get enough of it.
So if you were talking to somebody who's coming up on their 65th birthday or maybe somebody who's already on Medicare, who's maybe not happy, what advice would you give them? Is there anything you kind of tell people generally speaking?
Well, for someone who's coming up on Medicare, whether it be 65, or let's say they work past 65 to 68, 70 to get more out of Social Security, or they, like me, they just love working. What I do is I schedule a free in-home appointment, or we can meet at an office I have access to. I send them a copy of my book, and I tell them, read the instructions on my book. Because if you just read it page to page, chapter to chapter like a Tom Clancy novel, your brain will get turned into oatmeal. I have instructions on how to use my book and get the most out of it.
Tell us what the name of the book is. You can't tease us like that, man.
It's on Amazon. It's called Medicare Ready, Set, Go. And
Medicare Ready, Set, Go.
It's got a comical cover of a guy's head blown up with all these questions, and it's helped a lot of people out. And then I also sit down in home or at an office. I have a worksheet I do with them for their Medicare, a different one for rolling their retirement plan into a crash-proof plan. And when it's all said and done, people are very confident because when I sign them up on a plan, they got to take a test. And it's an open book test to make sure they understand the plan and they understand their co-pays or their responsibilities. And I'm not going to end the meeting until I feel confident that they're on the right plan, regardless of company, because whether they go with company A, B, C, or D, a zero premium, 25, 19, 17, 45 plan, I don't care. My commission's the same. My number one concern is getting the right plan for them that makes them feel like that little piece of plastic that covers their medical stuff will give them a nice warm security blanket at night on a cold winter night to know no matter what the situation, they're covered at an affordable rate to them.
So if somebody is new to Medicare, either 65 or after they're done working, get the book by Dave Miller, Ready, Set, Go. It's everything you need to know about Medicare. Would the advice be the same if somebody's already on it and they're just not happy?
If they're confused about Medicare and they're on a plan anyway, the book will help them out.
Okay.
But the in-home meeting I do prior to 65 is free.
Gotcha.
So, for example, this is May, so if someone is coming into Medicare, say September, October timeframe, I'll schedule a meeting the month that they need to enroll in Medicare. I'll talk them through how to get in to Social Security and get their Medicare going. And then once they do that, a few days later, we'll sit down, we'll have a meeting. I'll talk about basic Medicare. I'll say, first thing, everything you know about health insurance as you've known and loved it for the last 64 years, throw it out the window. Purge it. It's not the same. Then I will say, this is Medicare A, this is B, C, D, options, the differences, pros and cons, Medigap versus Medicare Advantage. And I get a feel for how they talk and react. And I'm pretty good at helping them decide which path is good for them. And again, I don't care about the commissions. I've been blessed to have a good income, a large book of business, and I'd say over a third of my business is all referrals.
Wow. That is awesome. All right, so we know about the book, Ready, Set, Go. It sounds like an awesome book. I can't wait to read it. It is on Amazon, so please take a look at that. Any other kind of tidbits about Medicare before we kind of move on in the conversation, Dave?
Well, I also have a podcast called Medicare Simplified with Dave Miller. If you go to my website, I don't know how to share screen here, but if you go to my website, MIG, the number 4, the letter U.net, then you can see right on the landing page, you can get a copy of my book, whether it be paperback or Kindle, and it'll take you over to my podcast, the video version or the audio version, and you can look at them through there. And on top of that, I have an area on my website called Knowledge Center. In the Knowledge Center, there's all kinds of things for Medicare, things about Social Security, and I'm slowly populating an area for veterans who have Tricare, or maybe they don't have Tricare, but they're retired and they have VA benefits, all kinds of information on there as well.
Wonderful. And if somebody was looking to find you and your agency, where would they look on the web, or how about a phone number?
717-740-9673. And then for some people who don't have long distance or whatever, they can call my toll-free number, which rolls over to the number I just gave you, and that is 833-644-0137. That will roll over to the 717-740-9673, which is the number I will be calling you from. And I can still get a hold of you. Or my website has a Contact Us button. And there you just leave me your name, phone number, and the best time to call you, and you will get a call.
That is awesome. And I will say, although I don't know anything about Medicare, I certainly stay in my lane on the estate planning and Medicaid side. Definitely you want to get advice, and you cannot put a price tag, or there is no price, but it is a free service that he can assist you with, and he would get paid by the carriers and not out of pocket by you at all. But even if there was a fee, it would be well worth the money in order to be able to get the knowledge and information, but there is none, and it is just the best time and that you'll ever spend. That's just my opinion.
Well, one thing, if I could charge a fee, I still wouldn't do it.
Ah, great.
And I want to add that all the proceeds from Medicare Ready Set Go, the book that I have out, are 100% are automatically donated to a 501c3 here in Elizabethtown called MS FitEffect. I don't keep a penny. I wrote the book to help educate people so they wouldn't get scammed, slammed, put on the wrong product, put on the wrong plan, and then the proceeds help people who have MS to get the training, the coaching they need to take back what that cruel disease has taken from them, and at the same time make life a little easier for them. So I look at it as a three-way win. People are educated, the money's helping others, and I just sleep good at night knowing I'm trying to help people. Same thing with the podcast. No fee, I get nothing from it. It's just out there to educate people to make good, well-informed decisions, what not to do, what to do, and how to avoid mistakes and penalties.
Wow, that's awesome. Thank you for providing that service, man. That is really cool. So what do you like to do in your spare time? I mean, you got to do some things for yourself sometimes, I'm sure.
Well, my foremost passion, I used to skydive when I was in the Army, and I rode 2 years on European Rodeo Cowboy Association. I did bareback bronc and roping, team roping. Didn't do too good on bulldogging. It wasn't big enough for that. But I got into skydiving because it was safer than being chased by a 2,000-pound Brahma bull. A little life extension there. And I was on a demo team. I did intentional cutaways. I got an injury in the military, which is why I'm 50% disabled vet. And I got into scuba diving, another passion. I have had interactions with dolphins, with sea turtles, with all kinds of different aquatic life. I've seen things from history, shipwrecks. I've gone through the ship, in the ship, around it, above it, below it. I mean, it's just, we're in the same world, but I mean, the same planet, but once you get about 40, 50, 130 feet underwater, it's a different world altogether.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear that. You have a favorite dive that you could think of, or anywhere in particular you like to dive?
Anywhere in the Caribbean where I don't need a wetsuit.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. I enjoyed. I love to go down to Key West on the Vandenberg.
Oh yeah,
That is a great dive. It's about 110 to the top and about 130ish to the middle of the ship, and it is just a beautiful dive if you're deep dive certified. And I love that dive. That's one of my favorites.
I've got about 18 different certs, so I'm good. And
Yeah.
my bucket list dive is off the coast of North Carolina, the German U-boat that we sank in World War II. I want to sit on the dive planes of the conning tower and have my picture taken. Picture number 2 will be my hand inside the torpedo tube that's open, and number 3 hanging onto the prop.
No way.
That's my
Where is that at?
North Carolina. And then about a 45-minute boat ride from there, we're going back into my real passion of historical dives, Blackbeard's original ship. Now, it's broken half, but you can still see the original ship that the pirate Blackbeard owned and terrorized the seas with.
Holy cow.
I'm going.
Wow. I didn't know any of that was in North Carolina. That is so cool.
Also off the coast of Maine, but that's
Now,
too cold.
how deep are those, do you know?
The sub, I believe, is the dive planes are at 90, and I think the torpedo tube is like at 110. The propeller shaft, it's going to max out what you and I are qualified for, but it's worth it. And
Wow.
then we do the St. Lawrence River. A group of friends of mine, we go up there. Last year we did St. Lawrence, a few wrecks on the New York side, and this August we're diving the Canadian side. All dives guaranteed 110 feet minimum.
Wow.
Pony bottles will be taken.
That
With dry suit.
sounds awesome.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, that is so cool. Yeah, we were in the Caribbean this summer in the Bahamas and did the shark dive. I think it was with Stewart's Cove, if I'm not wrong. And oh man, was that fun! Like that was so cool looking down and seeing 30-some sharks beneath you. And my daughter was getting her. She's actually a junior master diver, and we were in the Caribbean, and there were rays and sharks, and she was hanging out with them, and it was so cool, man. It was such a neat experience.
Have you ever encountered lemon sharks?
Yes.
You just barely touch them and they run away.
Yep. Yeah.
Now, I don't have
Yeah.
the ability, I don't think, to show you, but I got a dive that you would have loved. on
Oh,
our honeymoon in Ocho Rios, Jamaica. I did a dive. My wife can't dive because of her ear, but I did a dive. We went to about 105, checking things out. We went to 65 feet, and one of the guys made a noise, so we all could look around and find him. There was a giant turtle, probably about 5 feet in diameter, minimum. It was just skirting the seafloor at 65 feet, and then all of a sudden, yeah, whoa, hey baby! A male turtle comes and he makes like a U-turn almost to chase her. We caught the whole thing on. I got a video of it, and he
wow.
does the chase, the domination. Then they go belly to belly, which is how they mate. They break up. 4 times they did this, and the last time she clobbered him good to knock him senseless to get away. I got the whole thing on video. I'll be happy to email you a link where you can see it,
Wow.
or maybe even add it to this if you have the ability to do
That would
so.
be incredible, man. I would love it. Yeah, get it over
Fantastic
to us.
dive.
That would be so cool. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. And even that North Carolina dive you're talking about to see those historic sites, that would be so amazing.
When we plan those dives, again, it's not guaranteed you'll get it because water conditions and all that. But you want, I got your number. We'll go. I'll hook you up, and you can go with us.
Yeah, man. Let me know. I'm good to 130 as you know. So
See?
I'll just stop there. If you keep going, I'll just wave to you on the way down. So
No, I stay within my limits. I like to come
yeah,
up for
me
the
too.
next dive.
Yeah, I tell you what, man. I on my last dive that I did, one of the gentlemen on our boat, on our charter that we had, ended up getting narked and came to the surface and was yelling for help, and we had to get in and assist him. And then he ended up, I believe it was about a day and a half in a chamber, if I'm not wrong.
Yep.
And it definitely spooked me. It was a sight that I'll never forget, and that's actually one of the main reasons I'm down about 88 pounds right now, and I'd say that was a big part of it. I mean, he was a little older, but certainly not by any stretch of the imagination, and they were talking about how age could be a mitigating factor. Well, so can weight, you know. And I was 320 pounds the last time I dove down, and I said, you know what, I gotta take care of me and make sure that I at least mitigate some of those risks. And I don't want to do that to my family or my wife, my daughter, and my clients and people around me. So it's been a wonderful journey trying to get back down, and I'm having fun with it. But I'm looking forward to my next dive, just to kind of get back in the water, and I'm sure I'll be using a lot less weight.
Well, I got injured in the military, and that set depression in because at 175 and what 9-12% body fat going into the Michelin Man, I shot up to 368 pounds. I now weigh 225,
Wow.
and I'm dropping more. I'm going down to 190, and I'm holding because that's good weight. But you're right. Having excess weight on you is not a good thing if you're a diver because you need to stay in good shape. It's not, as someone put it, scuba diving is the lazy man's number one sport because you really don't need a lot of exertion, but you need stamina and endurance. You
Yeah.
need to be able to breathe easily. I mean, when I'm underwater, I get like 20 feet and keep going down to whatever depth we're going to. I guarantee you, my vitals probably make a jellyfish stressed out compared to me. I am so relaxed. It's just like a
Oh,
natural thing for me.
that's awesome. That is so cool. Yeah, I mean, we definitely have to go sometime. That would be a lot of fun to do that. And yeah, my daughter is a great diver. She loves diving. And we were in Bonaire in November, I guess it was. And what a beautiful place to dive, man.
Well, in 33 days, I'll be landing in Bonaire.
Awesome.
Never
Awesome.
been
Well,
there.
you have an incredible time.
Are you familiar with the turtle dive?
Yes.
We got booked for it. We got the group I'm going with, the dive shop, which is Getting Wet Scuba here in Harrisburg. We are going on the turtle dive. We booked the whole
Nice.
boat just for us.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. The other dive that they loved, and the East Coast dive.
Oh, yeah.
Um, my daughter loved that dive. She had a ball on that, and that was probably her favorite dive of the week. And that is a boat dive, but man, she loved it. She had a great time. If you have the time to do that, I would highly recommend it.
Well, one place I want to go, two places I want to go. One, only if I hit the lottery. The other one is down, I think it's in the Keys. You may know where it is, but it's a place where they have a lot of statues. It's like a memorial to the military veterans and so forth.
Oh,
And I want to not only dive it, I want to go down there and do the cleanup. Where they take care of the statues that are underwater.
Yeah.
I forget where it's at, but I know it's in the Keys somewhere. But I
Wow.
want to be part
We
of
did
that
it.
cleanup. But then,
Yeah.
Jeff, if you haven't seen what it's all about, get on YouTube and type in Deep Dive Dubai.
Dubai.
300 feet. An underwater city. 100% of the water it's like a giant swimming pool. It's heated 80 degrees all the way to the bottom, and it's got a shopping mall down there. There's cars, barber shops, all kinds of stores. You just swim around. You could. I would get rebreather certified so I could stay down for about 3 hours just checking it out. It's awesome. It's
Wow.
about $1.25 a dive, worth it.
Holy cow. That sounds awesome.
Deep Dive Dubai on YouTube.
All right, I'll check it out. That sounds like a lot of fun, man.
Oh yeah.
Well, that is great. Anything else you enjoy doing, or anything you want to chat about?
Oh, I love working on cars and fixing up the house. My wife says since she's called me, none of our kids will go to a garage again except for inspections. One thing I can't do. And one of their requirements is the fact that before they go on any trips, I check out the car or they can't go. And
Fair enough.
my stepdaughter, it's a good thing because she needed brakes bad. And Nick and Ryan are her sons. And prior to getting married, both of them at different times came to me and said, would you adopt me when you after you and mom get married? Because you're more of a dad to us than we've ever known. And what am I supposed to do with that? I mean, I was shocked. My wife was blown away. Of course I adopted him. And Nick, the oldest, he actually didn't want his middle name because it was his birth father's name. So he took my grandfather's first name to keep the initial the same. So now he's Nicholas James Miller.
Oh, I love it.
And all I did was just do what I would do if they were my blood, because I love their mom. We're married. And, we found things that Nick and I, like working out in the gym, doing computer stuff. Ryan and I, it's about hunting, projects, working on cars. We just found things that we both like to do, and they're great kids. They both went through college, paid off all their college debt in practically no time. I mean,
Wow.
Ryan only did a 2-year degree, got a job paying incredible money, paid off his college debt in 14 months. Nick took a 4-year degree, paid off his college debt in 2.5 years. They're debt-free. Nick owns his own place. Ryan's
Wow.
living large, doing what he loves to do. And my daughter, she's married to a guy who has his own construction company that is just booming with business out in Pittsburgh. I couldn't be more proud of the kids. And I'm a grandpa.
Oh, that's awesome, Dave.
And it's
Very
easy to
cool.
remember my anniversary and her birthday because they're both 6 years.
Oh, no kidding. Wow, that is awesome. That's very cool. Well, I cannot thank you enough for joining us today. I had a ball. I'm excited to be a guest on your podcast at some point in the future. And man, I'd love to continue this conversation and go diving with you again. And I want to thank my listeners for joining us today. I was joined today on the Red Wagon Estate Planning and Elder Law Show by Dave Miller of Miller Insurance Group. All of your needs in regards to Medicare, he can assist you. Please check out his book on Amazon, Ready, Set, Go by Dave Miller, a book to kind of guide you through the process of Medicare, and he'll even provide a consultation to assist you to help. All the proceeds from the book and his podcast are going on to help a nonprofit charity in his hometown, which is a wonderful thing. Dave is also an avid scuba diver. We certainly had a ball today talking about that, and look forward to diving together in the future. Thank you very much for joining us on the Red Wagon Estate Planning and Elder Law Show. If you're looking for legal advice in the estate planning and elder law arena, please check us out at 717-845-5390 or on the web, www.belomoassociates.com. Thank you for joining the Red Wagon Estate Planning and Elder Law Show. Until next time, we'll see you real soon. Hi, I'm Jeff Belomo with Belomo and Associates, and I would like to personally invite you to the next podcast of the Red Wagon Estate Planning and Elder Law Show, hosted by me, yours truly, Jeffrey Belomo. I am joined on the next podcast by a dear friend, Dave Miller, with Miller Insurance Group. He does all things Medicare and has a wonderful book called Medicare, Ready, Set, Go on Amazon.com. All the proceeds, again, are going to go to a nonprofit and to assist them. Please check us out on the next Red Wagon Estate Planning and Elder Law show, hosted by me, yours truly, Jeffrey Belomo. Until next time, we'll see you real soon.